So the Cowboys 2026 schedule has officially dropped. And I'm not going to lie, at first I actually felt pretty good about it. Like when you look at some of the timing, the rest advantages, and how certain games are placed throughout the season, it really does feel like Dallas got a better setup than a lot of people expected. But once I started looking closer at some of these matchups, the travel, and a few stretches buried inside the schedule, I started realizing this thing might be a lot tougher on the Cowboys than it looks at first glance. So in this video, I will go through the full schedule, talk about the spots that could really help Dallas, the stretches that already have me a little nervous, and by the end, I'm giving my full season prediction. And you know what? Even the schedule is tough. Still, I believe the Cowboys are going to rule their division. And this is not something I am saying because I am Cowboy. This is because how my team looks like. What's up, Cowboys? Welcome to the NFL Playbook, Cowboys. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, so before we even talk about the schedule itself, I got one simple question for everybody watching. Do you believe in what the Dallas Cowboys have been building? That's it. That's the whole question. Because the way you answer that determines how you feel when you look at this schedule. If you believe in what we've built, the front office moves, the draft, the coaching staff, the roster we've put together, then you look at this schedule and you don't flinch. You don't panic. You don't go on Twitter talking about how we're done before September even starts. If you believe that, you look at this thing and you say, line it up, and that's exactly where I'm at. Now let's talk about the actual schedule because there's a lot to unpack here. The Cowboys open the season on the road against the Giants on Sunday Night Football. Week 2 is a home game against the Commanders. Honestly, I'm not afraid of either of those teams. I know people want me to be scared of the Commanders after what they did last year, but look, even when Jaden Daniels was playing at his absolute peak and they were making runs deep into the playoffs, we were competing with them. We beat them last year. The Giants, same thing. They got a better team now, better coaching, and I'm not dismissing them, but I'm not losing sleep over them either. We should be looking at those first 2 weeks and expecting to come out of that stretch at least 2-0. That's the standard. Then things start to get real, and I mean real. Week 3, we play the Ravens, but here's the twist. That game is in Brazil. Now, Lamar Jackson has owned us. I'll be honest about that. Last time those two teams were on the same field, Baltimore smoked us. So that's a real test. But the Brazil element adds a whole nother layer. We're talking about international travel, a neutral site, the whole thing. It's a different kind of preparation challenge, and that's worth paying attention to. Week 4, we're on the road in Houston against the Texans. Their defense is legit, no question. DeMeco Ryan can coach, and that's a tough environment. But you know what? Their offense struggled down the stretch last year. CJ Stroud threw picks in the playoffs like it was nothing. I'm not conceding that game before we even play it. Week 5 is the Buccaneers at home on Thursday Night Football, and I'm genuinely not worried about Tampa Bay. Mike Evans is gone. Baker Mayfield looked very average last year. We're not the Eagles. We don't mysteriously struggle with that team. Then week 6, we're in Green Bay. Now, I know people want to make that sound terrifying, but here's the thing. We play that game in October. It's not the frozen tundra yet. It's still slightly warm. And if you want to talk about what happened last time we played there, we went into that stadium without Micah Parsons, without CeeDee Lamb, and the game ended 40-40. Dak Prescott was cooking them without his best weapons. So no, the Packers don't scare me. Then week 7, we close out that early stretch on Monday Night Football at Philadelphia. Look, last time we played the Eagles, we won. I'm not afraid of them. I'm just not. Now, I will say this, that early run from weeks 3 through 7 is genuinely one of the harder stretches in the whole NFL this season. You've got Ravens in Brazil, Texans on the road, Buccaneers on a short week, Packers, then Eagles on Monday night, back-to-back-to-back tough games with travel mixed in. That's a grind. But here's what I actually love about it. We're going to find out who we are really fast. We won't be sitting here in week 12 wondering if this team is for real, playing cupcakes and mentally convincing ourselves we're nice. We're going to know by week 5 or 6 exactly what kind of team we have. And I think what we have is a team that can handle it. Midseason is where things get a little more balanced, but don't get it twisted. It's still not easy. We get the Cardinals at home, then we're on the road against the Colts, then the 49ers come to our house, followed by the Titans at home, and then the Eagles again on Thanksgiving. After that, we're on the road in Seattle against the Seahawks on Monday Night Football. I want to circle that 49ers game right now. We owe them badly, and they lost their defensive coordinator. Robert Saleh coaches the Titans now, and every time San Francisco loses Robert Saleh, that defense takes a step back. They've also got guys coming back from injury, still trying to get things figured out. Advantage Cowboys. As for the Seahawks, that's a real game. Sam Darnold earned my respect. That man went out there and balled when it mattered. Their defense is legit. That's not a game we can overlook. The Cardinals at home should be a win, but I'll be honest, they've had our number for some weird reason that I can't fully explain. That needs to change this year. Colts, I'm not afraid of Daniel Jones. Titans are young and still figuring things out. Thanksgiving against the Eagles is always a big moment, and I like our chances there. Week 14 is the bye week, and this is something worth talking about because it's one of the latest buys in the whole NFL. On paper, that sounds rough. You're grinding all the way to week 14 before you get a rest. But Think about it differently. If we're still in the playoff race at that point, which I fully expect us to be, that bye week is like a gift right before the final stretch. You get 2 weeks to recover, get healthy, get your guys right, and then you come out of that rest with 4 more weeks to lock up the division. I'll take it. The final stretch looks like this. We're on the road against the Rams. Then we get the Jaguars at home on Sunday Night Football. Then the Giants at home. And we close out the regular season on the road against the Commanders. That Rams game is the one that sticks out to me. The Rams have a high-powered offense, and their defense isn't soft either. That's a real game on the road. Jaguars at home should be winnable. And then you've got 2 division games to end the year that could have massive playoff seeding implications. And here's one thing that doesn't get talked about enough with this schedule. The weather situation is actually really favorable for our offense. Think about it. The Ravens game is on a neutral field in Brazil. The Texans are in a dome. The Buccaneers are at our place. Green Bay is in mid-October, so it's cool but not brick cold. Philadelphia is late October, chilly, maybe rainy, but no snow. A lot of our toughest games are either in controlled environments or in weather that's not going to be an equalizer against Dak Prescott and our receivers. That matters. Dak was going crazy last year in all kinds of situations, and when the weather isn't a factor, our offense is that much harder to stop. Now, I know the Vegas line has us around 9.5 wins, and some people are buying into that number. I'm not doing a game-by-game win-loss prediction because honestly, it's May, and there are too many variables we don't know yet. What I will tell you is this. I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this division. I genuinely believe that. The Eagles, I think they take a step back. The Commanders have to prove they can do it again with more eyes on them. The Giants are improved, but still not there yet. I think 11 wins locks up the NFC East this year, and I think we get there. And yes, one thing I forgot to mention is that the Cowboys have 6 primetime games. 6. That tells you the NFL knows how valuable this team is. You know, some teams don't even get 1 primetime game. Just look at the Raiders. Not every team can handle what primetime brings. Pressure, big storylines, and playoff type energy. To me, that's another reason to feel confident about my team. So the bottom line is that the schedule is tough. The early stretch is brutal. The travel is real. And there are 3 or 4 games on this thing where we're going to have to bring everything we've got. But we have a good team too. That's the part that gets lost when people look at the schedule and just start panicking. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Javonte Williams, Rashan Gary, Quinnen Williams. That's not a soft roster. That's not a team that should be looking at any schedule and flinching. Every team on this thing is beatable. Every single one. And we won't have a chance to sleepwalk through a single week, which means by the time the playoffs come around, we're going to be battle tested and ready. That's exactly what this team needs. Stay healthy, stay locked in, and we'll be right where we're supposed to be. Let's get it, Cowboys.